Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another video on Manor Lords, the highly anticipated indie city builder set in medieval times. It's free for an entire week right now, and I'm here to tell you that it is amazing and you need to try it. I've been playing for a few hours now since I was kindly given early access to the game by the publisher Hooded Horse, and I have to say that from the small, humble campsite to the thriving village of Reichenfurt, from hunting and gathering food to starting up a small farm, I have been really enjoying every aspect of this demo so far. In today's video, we're going to deep dive into the first few hours of my gameplay in this brilliant demo for Manor Lords to explore all the features you can have access to and a review on my thoughts of the current state of the game. And by the end of the video, if you're a fan of medieval games, of city building games, I guarantee you will have no choice but to get in there and check it out. So let's get started. Manor Lords is currently in version 0.5, which is a lot further along than I expected it to be honest. And right now, anyone, anywhere can download the roughly 6GB demo to essentially play the city building and management aspect of the game. So when you first load up the demo after installation, you'll see 3 choices of play, of which 2 are currently locked. Each of these include a different style of map, different objectives, and different starting circumstances. So on the left, we've got the Robber Baron mode, which is probably a mode in which you get to still manage a town or a city, but you'll focus on building up an army to take down an evil baron and his city. This kind of confirms to me that warfare, despite many people's kind of speculation about it, will be an important feature of the game, maybe as important as the city building itself, which is really cool to see. Then we have the Realm Conquest mode in the middle, which seems to be a sandbox style game with other towns and villages that you'll have to contend with, ally, destroy, and expand into depending on your preferred playstyle. And lastly, we have the Rise to Prosperity mode, which is what's available in this demo today. This is more of a pure sandbox style gameplay in which you start from nothing with no other claimants on the map that you have to deal with, and you grow into a prosperous town. Having chosen your game mode, which is Rise to Prosperity, you get to pick a character model, which does more than just sit as a portrait, by the way, but we'll get to that in a second. And you also get to edit your name and create a custom banner for your rising kingdom, which you can upload custom images for as well, by the way, which is a really nice touch. There are a large variety of options to choose from here, from a color scheme, overall shield design, adding small emblems or patterns, and it all comes together to create your ideal banner. And once you're done with all that and you've chosen your banner, you get to enter the world of Manor Lords. And I just have to start off by appreciating how beautiful this game really is. The gameplay videos honestly don't do it justice, because once you're in here, you cannot help but enjoy the beautiful textures, the stunning attention to detail when it comes to terrain, weather, people, the buildings, everything. But by far, my favorite feature at this point was discovering this small eye button up by the character portrait, which zooms you into an incredible third-person view of your aristocratic self in this plot of land you've invested in. This is where you can truly experience the beauty of the game you're getting into here. You get up close and personal with the villagers and their daily activities. You can walk up to wildlife and buildings, and in some cases inside buildings, although this is still work in progress, of course. And as your camp grows into a village and then into a town, through all the seasonal weather conditions, the construction that you get to see firsthand, it is an incredibly ingenious feature of doing all of this in third person. When it comes to the gameplay itself, it's very well polished as well. You get various goals and objectives that throughout point you in the right direction of which buildings to build, what resources to prioritize, and especially later on, how to stockpile these resources for those harsh winter months. The resource gathering and building aspect is the most accessible part in this demo, of course, and it is super impressive. Within a season or two, you should have access to 5 to 10 housing plots for your peasants to live in and thrive, multiple timber production, hunting, or even farming buildings, and you can even start using the trade routes nearby to have access to an even greater number of goods. And throughout all of this, you start to really appreciate the finer details of this game, like the oxen that drags the timber across your village for buildings that are under construction, or the way that you can edit the size and style of your starting houses. Even the way the snowfall starts settling on the ground over a long stretch of time, which is just so brilliantly done. Or the subtle messages that come with the next development chapter of your village. It's impossible not to be mesmerized by the attention to detail and ultimately the immersion this all brings to the game. This is all put into a very accessible and intuitive UI as well, with resource values, public order and tax income, and other points of interest all available for you to gloss over when you need to, as well as down below here with the construction options, which are beautifully laid out. There's an overlay feature which shows you where the nearest water resources are for your well, where the most fertile land is for your farms, and others that give you an indication on how to expand your village. And there are even buttons here for armies and recruitments that, while locked of course in this demo, prove that warfare is going to be a pivotal aspect of the finished product. As you zoom out of your village, you can also see the wider area of the region you have invested in, as well as the surrounding lands that in later versions of the game you'll be able to buy, conquer, or trade with. All of these places are filled with trade routes, unique resources like honeybees or mineable ore, and eventually they will have rival villages that you'll compete against to grow and expand out to establish a full-on kingdom. While the map may be bare bones for the moment and is still work in progress technically, it gives us a great indication of the scale and beauty of what to expect in the near future. Overall, Manor Lords and this demo is absolutely brilliant. I can't get enough of it. The visuals are some of the best I've seen in this kind of game, and I can't tell you how much of an impact it makes to go into third person to see your village grow and thrive into something bigger and greater, with the backdrop of the wilderness, the mountains that will soon be yours as well. It's an amazing feeling, really. The resource gathering, people management, city building aspect of the game feels well polished, balanced, and surprisingly stable for an early access indie game, where I experienced almost no bugs or even crash issues, which is fantastic. And though there are plenty of locked features and limits, after a few hours of gameplay, I'm still desperate to play more. Finally, while we're on the topic of limits, I'll just address for a moment what those are. Your village will essentially be able to grow until you get to a medium size of development, at which point you can do whatever you like, really, but you won't be able to access certain buildings or development points, which you would normally be able to spend on the currently locked development tree. Certain buildings don't have a UI card yet, some others are not accessible, and on the campaign map itself, you're limited to this one region, so you can't expand to others in this demo. The last important limitation to mention here is you can't save your game, so once you've started a village, this is it. Make your playthrough last, because once you quit, you'll have to start all over again. Despite all of that though, you have access to almost every resource, you have the passing merchant which you can trade with, you even have the king of the land which you'll eventually have to pay tribute to, and you have a wide range of buildings to grow and develop your village with as much customization as you like, which is really brilliantly done. Third-person view gives you an immersive, engaging point of view to it all, and through all the different playstyles, challenges you might face, I promise you'll be hooked for hours on end. And that's it for today, guys. Manor Lords is free for a week right now, and you can download and try it out for yourself on the Steam page, which I've linked below in the video description. It's a very small download at around 6.5 gigabytes, so if you're interested, I highly recommend you check it out. There's also a Discord server where you can keep up to date with the latest news and announcements and speak to other like-minded players, which I've linked below as well. I really hope you enjoyed the video and found it informative. If you did, do give it a like and drop any thoughts or questions in the comment section below, and let me know what you think about Manor Lords and this demo so far. Subscribe for more strategy game content, gameplay, and news just like this, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.